Welcome back to the deep dive. Okay, so today we're diving into that feeling, you know the one. The clock's ticking way too fast, you're already late, and your brain just feels hijacked by stress. But instead of fixing things, you end up picking a fight. Maybe with the wrong person, definitely at the wrong place, and poof, a small problem becomes this huge disaster.
Right, that spiral. From just being a bit frustrated to a complete meltdown. And it's often fueled by impatience, maybe a bit of anger, and just sticking to what you think is happening.
Exactly.
And that's our focus. We've got this really potent short story about a character, Siku Mian, and his incredibly stressful morning. It's almost like a playbook on what not to do when you're under pressure.
Yeah, the sources detail him arriving at a school, already worked up, looking for a colleague who isn't there, and it goes downhill fast. So our mission here isn't just to retell his bad morning, it's really to pull out the lessons, right? The communication breakdowns, the behavior traps.
Yeah, we want to unpack how this tiny error, mixed with a whole lot of rage, basically blinded him to really obvious facts and, well, wrecked his whole day professionally.
Okay, let's get into it. This self-inflicted wound, as you called it.
Let's do it.
So when one gets to the school, the story makes it super clear he's already running hot. Physically, he's termenga-menga, panting, totally out of breath.
Right.
But the real problem seems to be emotional. His heart, it says, was dabarasap, already boiling mad.
And that starting point is so crucial. Before anyone even speaks to him, Moon isn't thinking, how do I solve this? He's thinking, who can I blame? When you arrive somewhere already pumped full of adrenaline, your rational brain, the prefrontal cortex, it kind of takes a backseat. You're not really processing new information properly.
Okay, but hang on. Being late is frustrating, isn't it? He expected this colleague, Siku Barum, at 10:15 for an 11 a.m. event. It's almost 10:30. That seems like a valid reason to be annoyed.
Oh, absolutely. The frustration about the time itself. Totally valid. Anyone would be stressed.
So how do we separate the legit time crunch from the mess he makes because of his assumptions?
That's the key distinction, isn't it? The initial annoyance is fine. The damage comes from why he assumes Barum isn't there. He jumps straight to Barum is late, Barum is negligent.
Okay.
And his anger locks that assumption in place. Confirmation bias kicks in hard. He stops looking for actual information and starts looking for anything that confirms his anger is justified.
Which leads right into that first big mistake. He storms up to the office clerk, the Karani, demands to see Siku Barum. The description is great. Mendengas, keening, Bertal-like, scoffing, eyebrows slammed together. He's radiating aggression.
Totally. It's pure attack mode, not inquiry. The tone itself is saying, I'm right, you're incompetent, find me Barum now.
And he doesn't even pause to consider, maybe the problem isn't Barum, maybe it's me, my location.
Not for a second. And then the universe, or the office clerk, offers him an out. A lifeline, really.
Yeah, the clerk gives him a bit of a funny look, right? And after Muin sort of aggressively confirms who he's waiting for,
the clerk just lays out the fact. Calmly, simply.
Mana ada chiku bahum katsakolani chiku. Which means...
Siku Barum isn't at this school, Siku. Simple as that.
Wow. Okay. That's direct, clear, undeniable, you'd think.
You would think. But Muin's brain is completely fixated on the time problem. Barum is late. He literally cannot hear the location correction.
So the anger isn't just like an emotion, it's acting like earplugs.
Exactly. It's a shield against any information that contradicts his preformed narrative of being wronged.
And there's maybe a bit of a power dynamic too. He's a chiku, a teacher, probably sees himself as higher status than the clerk.
That likely plays a role, yeah. He might dismiss what the clerk says as just bureaucratic nonsense. Or maybe the clerk is just uninformed, incompetent.
Instead of thinking, hold on, why would they say Barum isn't here? That's weird. Maybe I should check.
Nope. His pride, his stress, his anger, it all makes him immune to that simple, crucial fact. It's just an obstacle in his way to finding the late colleague.
So he brushes the clerk off, basically calls them useless in his head probably, and leaves the school office. And that moment, that refusal to listen to the quiet correction, that's what sets him up for the big public meltdown on the phone, isn't it?
Absolutely. He forced the escalation himself. By rejecting the easy, quiet fix, he guaranteed the next step would be louder and more dramatic.
Because now, having failed to find Barum inside, the rage needs a new target. So he calls the office.
Then the source says his voice goes up, Siptaf, a whole octave higher. He's basically shouting now.
Repeating the same complaint, 11 a.m. event. It's 10:30. Where is my colleague?
He's performing his grievance now,
Yeah.
Moving from just feeling angry inside to broadcasting his victimhood, he needs someone else to be the bad guy.
Probably thinks calling the office gets him to someone with more authority, someone who will finally agree with him.
And the person on the phone tries to de-escalate, asks the most basic logical question. The question Muin should have asked himself an hour ago.
Which is,
where exactly are you, Sigu?
and Muin, still absolutely convinced he's in the right, shouts it back, loud enough for everyone nearby to hear.
Bidak view la. Peak confidence. Maximum certainty.
Just before the floor completely drops out from under him.
And you can almost hear the patient sigh on the other end of the line. The voice, trying maybe not to laugh, delivers the killer blow.
Siku, itu bukit view, bukan bedak view. Bukit view, not bedak view. A single letter difference. B-U-K-I-T versus B-E-D-O-K.
It's almost funny, right? So it's devastating for him. One typo, one misread map, whatever it was.
And suddenly he's not just in the wrong building, he's in the completely wrong part of the city.
Which brings up that point about system checks, doesn't it?
Yeah.
He had a low-cost check right there, the clerk.
Yeah.
The clerk knew the school, knew who worked there.
Yeah.
That was his early warning system. But Muin ignored it, probably because of ego or anger.
So instead of a quiet correction, he gets the news via a public shouting match under maximum stress.
Exactly. The fallout is instant. That confident rage just vanishes.
Koof, replaced by sheer abject panic.
He shouts, "Bikit view, Mempas you."
Like, I'm dead, I'm doomed.
It's that sudden gut-wrenching realization, oh no, this is entirely my fault.
And the geography makes it impossible. The source points out Bukit View is in Shwachuk Kang. Anyone who knows Singapore knows. That's nowhere near Bidak View.
Like opposite sides of the island, practically.
Pretty much. He didn't just pick the wrong school down the street. He was miles and miles away.
And the clock is still ticking. That 11 a.m. deadline is now terrifyingly close.
He realizes, Tingal 15-minute age. Only 15 minutes left. There is physically no way he can make it across Singapore in that time.
The physical reaction is intense, too. His stomach, like it just shrinks up, goes cold.
Yeah, and his saliva feels sandy. Erlur darasa berpasir. It's that full-body nausea when you realize you've made a massive, irreversible mistake.
The self-inflicted disaster has landed. But here's the most valuable part, I think. Right at the end, after all the blaming and the shouting, Moon has this moment of brutal honesty.
He gives us the takeaway himself, doesn't he?
He does. He completely owns it. Padan muka aku main redayashe.
Which basically means?
Serves me right. I just barged in without checking. He finally gets it. The root cause wasn't Barroom being late. It was his own impatience, his assumption, his refusal to just check.
That initial anger wasn't just wasted energy. It actively stopped him from seeing reality.
Right. He was too proud, too stressed, maybe too hierarchical to accept that the quiet clerk might actually know something important, something he got wrong.
And that blindness made this huge, public, probably career-damaging mistake inevitable.
So if we pull back, what can we learn from poor Sikumun's terrible morning? It really breaks down into 3 key mistakes people make under pressure, I think.
Okay, let's frame it up. Mistake number 1.
Allowing frustration to dictate action. Moon felt angry, hatida barasa, and immediately jumped to blaming and accusing, not investigating.
Yeah, you have to recognize that feeling, that high stress, and consciously switch from blame mode to, okay, what are the facts mode? Hit pause.
Exactly. Don't let the feeling drive the car.
Okay, mistake number 2.
Ignoring corrective facts because they don't fit your story. The clerk told him point blank. Barroom isn't here, but Muin's story was Barroom is late, so he couldn't process the location fact.
He prioritized being right, or maybe winning the argument over finding the actual truth. It's about needing system checks, isn't it? Not just breathing exercises.
Precisely. And think about your workplace. Who's your clerk? Is it the junior person with the data that counters your gut feeling?
Ooh, good question.
Is it the quiet expert in the meeting you kind of ignore because they aren't loud or senior?
Yeah.
Muin's error was assuming important facts only come from important people.
Okay, and the third mistake?
It's the consequence of the first 2. The main read-a-jab principle, charging ahead on assumption, rushing forward with minimal, unverified info just sets you up for disaster.
For Muin, it was 1-letter difference, Bedok versus Bukit, that completely derailed everything. His reputation, maybe relationships.
And you see this in bigger decisions too, right? A manager pushes a launch based on one good-looking number, ignoring the quality control team's warnings.
That's Siku mean flooring it towards Bukit View with 15 minutes left. The anger, the rush, it doesn't make you faster, it just makes you miss the giant wrong way sign.
Yeah. So the big lesson from Ewan's meltdown is that anger's real cost isn't just feeling bad. It's that it makes you deaf and blind to crucial, quiet information.
Information that could save you. So the countermeasure is forcing yourself to question your own certainty, especially when you're feeling rushed or annoyed.
You have to deliberately look for that quiet correction, especially when you're most sure you're right. Don't just barge in, check the details, ask the clerk.
So for everyone listening, think about your own work life. Where might impatience be stopping you from catching your bitek view versus bookit view mistake? That tiny detail that could change everything.
Yeah, what's one small step you could build in? A pause, a quick double check with someone else, verifying that one key assumption before you react.
It could save you from Moon's painful realization. Padan muka aku, main redage. A moment of calm definitely costs less than a disaster.
Well said. A lot less.
We hope you found this useful. We'll see you next time for the next deep dive.